Alright guys, here it is, my latest project. We're building another race car.
If you like it, take a picture. 'Cause you have a style, staying since I kissed you. I can taste it on my lips, yeah. I know you're thinking about the things, yeah, I could give you.
We're building another XL for Track Attack later in the year for the Enduro. So we're starting with this premium white XL we got here. It's a good starting point for what we're looking to do, but we're not starting from scratch. We're doing what's called a reshell, where we pull parts from an old car and put them in a new car. So normally these are done if the car's, say, totaled or it's just damaged to the point where it's not going to be competitive anymore, which is what happened to this black car here. This was the car I ran last year in my first round of Series X3, but it's tired, it's been around for a long time. We got it secondhand, so now it's time to bring it back to life. So we're pulling a lot of the running gear and parts out of this one and putting it into this one. So we got a good base already to go from. So yeah, getting started, we're gonna get these cars up in the air, get all the wheels off. I'll show you a bit of the damage on the old black car here. And yeah, we'll just go from there really. Main thing we need to do from this car to this car is the cage. So that's going to be a lot of work getting it out of this car, assembled on the ground, and then disassembling it, putting it back into this car to make sure it's all square and fits properly is a big thing. Very important, very necessary thing. We can only do that as this is a bolt-in cage in this car. Then another big one is all the suspension arms. These ones already have all the bushings we run. So just gonna drop them out of this, drop them into there and swap them over really. And then yeah, it's just prepping this car. So removing all the sound deadening, moving the seats, painting the underside, the floors, all in the engine bay here, make it look nice. And then just start swapping parts. All right, so I just thought I'd run you through some of the damage on the black car here. Starting off with this massive crack in the front crash structure here. A lot of cracks over the year. The headlight's full of water, that's a separate problem. Big one here is it's had a hit in this corner. So that's actually sitting a fair bit away from the body itself there. And that can be seen in the boot just there. It's a bit blurry, but there's a big dent, big crumple zone there in the boot. And it's had a bit of a hit in this front corner before. The rail was tweaked in, I believe, when we got it. And it's had a fair few hits with all the crash structure along here. It's all quite bent and very fragile. But the main one that's the problem is this crash here where it just slightly tweaked the rail, and the one in that corner where it's tweaked the rail. So that's the main ones. But other than that, it's been around for a long time. This is a very, very old car. Been driven by a lot of people. A lot of people that are doing very well in this sport. So yeah, it's got some history, but its time's come to an end, sadly. Now that I've understood what I've gotten myself into, one thing was certain. This was going to be a big job. So to get started, we're going to jack the cars up, get the wheels off, and prep the white car for sound deadening removal. So these wheels aren't really designed for these applications. One, they're fairly heavy, and they're quite skinny. They're only a very skinny tyre, a 175. We'll be putting 195 back on it. And they don't really have the structural integrity of a racing wheel. So that's the main reason why we swapped these out. And yeah, they look way better with a proper racing wheel on them. Not these Steelies. They're not the greatest looking wheel without their hubcaps. So this here is a more motorsport style wheel. They're lighter, wider, much stronger than the factory steel wheels that come on these cars from standard, which really allows us to put the right size tyre on it, a bigger tyre, run door to door, a little bit of rubbing like just here, and not damage these wheels is a big part of it. The weight as well helps keep the rotating weight down, which makes the car faster ultimately. That's a big part of these wheels. That's the main reason why we run them. Yeah, that's really it. That's the main reason why we run them. Another reason we're reshelling this car is these seam welds along here have split, and we've had to weld them up and sort of like repair them. This is happening on both sides of the car. It's really bad, quite bad on the other side. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons we're doing this, is it's losing its strength and it's twisting through the corners, which makes it really hard to sort of steer and brake and get it through the corner with good speed. Okay, so now we've got the wheels off, we're going to move back to the white car here. We're going to get the interior out of it, the seats, everything in the back. When we bought this car, we bought it partially stripped. So there's all the pieces for the interior, like the accelerators, the pedals, all of that's in the back here. So we're just going to get all that out, get the spare tyre out and have a look at it, tidy it up a bit. Tie up some of this wiring to get it ready for dry ice to get the sound ending out of it. So we got these foam pieces here. These sit behind the front and rear bar. I like to run these. They're really good when you're bump drafting. They stop a lot of damage. These absorb a lot of the impact when bump drafting instead of just bump drafting straight into the rear boot. That really can hurt it, push in a lot of the boot floor there. That's a lot harder to fix than it is to take one of these out and put a fresh one in. So that's a big advantage to running these foam pieces. Right, so now with all the parts out of the boot, we've got to get this spare wheel out. Now these are normally really hard to get out as the bolt holding them in seizes, gets quite rusty and corrodes really bad. So this could be either really easy or really hard, which I believe is going to pick to be hard. So now that's just spinning around in there. So might have to do it the fun way, which is to normally hit this plastic piece with a hammer and see if it shatters, as we don't really need these. We just need this out of here so I can have a look at this boot lid, the boot floor, sorry, as there's a little bit of rust down in here. Have a look at that and see what we can do about it. So I grabbed some pliers to try and do it another way before I smash with a hammer, because that can normally not be very good, but I'll just try and snap it or give it a turn even with these, see if it wants to go. No, it's still spinning, so we'll just snap these. Wow, that's really quite strong. Well, there's part of it. That's part of my knuckles.
Boy, on a real hesitation creeping in, but you look so good and I know what you're offering. Phone's lighting up, but I'm just gonna let it ring. Yeah, my phone's lighting up, but I'm just gonna let it ring. Is it the liquor in my system? My desire's not so real. Got me caught up in this rhythm. Draw me in and make me feel. Draw me in and make me feel. Draw me in and make me feel.
There we go. Wow. These are always an absolute pain to get out with those screws they've got. They always rust really bad. Makes it very difficult to get out, but it's out. So yeah, we'll just clean up all the debris and leaves now, and that should give us a better understanding of what's underneath here, how good the boot floor is, the steel there. When I was trying to get the wheel out, this mount here actually pulled out completely, so we'll have to have a look at that. There's a hole through to the floor there, that's not very good. Yeah, we'll get a better understanding once it's all clean.
Draw me in and make me feel.
So it is still very hard to see the floor condition, but this here has started to lift and rip out of the floor, and this here, these holes are very, very big. So yeah, more than likely it's going to need a new boot floor, which is less than ideal, but it's not the worst in the world. But yeah, look, that just fell out then. But yeah, so yeah, that's going to need to happen.
I think I need a break. Don't care how long it takes. You know I hate the way you make me feel so dark. You really broke my heart. You opened up my scars. I think I need a break. Don't care how long it takes. You know I hate the way you make me feel so dark. You really broke my heart. You opened up my scars. I think I need a
Now with everything out of the car and it all clean, it's now time for the fun part, dry ice. Alright, so we've got some dry ice here to remove the sound deadening from the floor of the XL. This is really good. It sort of breaks the glue from underneath or freezes it and allows you to be able to get it off a lot easier. Main tools I like to use really is just a hammer. You just let it, put the dry ice over it and give it a couple taps with this. It can really break it up, and a screwdriver to get under some of the more stubborn bits and just pop them up basically. The big thing with this though is safety. So this stuff can give you burns. So really gloves with some rubber insulation on one side is a really good idea. And long sleeves is another good idea, stops anything getting on your skin and burning you, and safety glasses. So yeah, that's really the main thing you need to be concerned about with working with dry ice. So here's a good look at what it is. It's just a small cylindrical chunk of ice or dry ice. It doesn't melt, it turns into vapor. So we've got to work with this stuff quite quickly, as any sort of heat can get to this stuff real quickly. So yeah, we just put it on here.
making me feel so dark. You really broke my heart. You opened up my scars.
Another important step which I forgot is to put some tape over the holes to stop the dry ice falling through. That way you can get better coverage across the piece.
Get to Wednesday, find me at my all-time low, going in on Thursday, but Friday's here, it's all so clear, and I feel alive again.
Okay, so here is a better look at what it's doing. It's actually cracking through the top layer of the sound deadening and pretty much allowing us to be able to lift it up. If you leave it on for long enough and get some good cracks, you should be able to lift it off all in sections, which I'll show you in a second. Here you can see the method I'm using to remove it. It's just a soft face hammer. Just give it a light tap, and you grab your screwdriver, you get under a side of it, or even just with your fingers, and you're able to just pull it all out. And now the goal is to get it all into big, big chunks like this. So this will be quite cold. You can see some of the vapor coming off of it there. But yeah, this is really what we want. So normally you'll have to go back and forth between two areas a couple times just to get some of the more stubborn stuff off like this. This is being quite painful, so we'll take some of this off, put it there, and then up on some of the tunnel there. So there we go. That's what it looks like without any sound deadening. It's not a very hard process. It's just quite time consuming. You'll be doing lots of hammering, hitting the screwdriver, putting the stuff back, forwards, everything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more on now on both sides, and yeah, I guess just kick it into overdrive and get it done. So with the sound deadening removed from the boot floor, it really gives us a good close-up look of the extent of the rust damage here, with the giant holes everywhere and the very, very, very thin sheet metal. So yes, it will be definitely requiring a new floor. Yeah, the rest of the car though, come up really good. All the sound deadening's off, but yeah, it's come up really, really good. Got a little bit of cleanup left to do, but there we are. All up, we saved 16 kilos in just sound deadener alone. We used 25 kilos of dry ice, which is about 2 buckets. Alright guys, there it is, the first episode of my Hyundai Excel build series. We got the cars in the air, got the wheels off, cleaned the interior of the white car and removed the sound deadening. In the next episode, we'll be cleaning up the interior and prepping it for paint and swapping suspension from car to car.